Hey everybody, my name's Ryan, and here at Etrailer we install, test fit, and review a lot of different parts. That way we can try to answer any questions that you guys might have about them. And that's exactly what we're doing today on our 2013 Nissan Frontier. We're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Etrailer.com Class 3 trailer hitch receiver. So it seems like a lot of Frontier owners use their trucks to do a little bit of everything. I know I've seen them going down the road, pulling all different types of trailers. And I've also seen them with accessories like a cargo carrier or a bike rack, for example. So if it were me, I would want a hitch to be able to handle pretty much anything you want to throw at it. And that's exactly what this Etrailer hitch is going to be able to do. Now we have had a few customers ask if the spare tire is going to clear the trailer hitch. And as you can see, we have more than enough room here, so we have no issues at all. Matter of fact, you don't even need to lower the spare tire down to get the hitch installed. So right off the bat, my first impressions of the hitch is I think it looks really good, actually. It's very well made and almost looks like a factory option, in my opinion. It has a really nice, thick, matte black carbide finish that really does a great job of helping it blend in. With that being said, this is a Class 3 hitch. So it's going to give us that 2" by 2" receiver tube opening. Super common size, and you can find a ton of different accessories that'll work with it. It's going to have a reinforced collar for extra strength, and it's going to have that standard 5/8 size pinhole. Now keep in mind, a pin and clip does not come included, but if you need one, you can pick it up here at Etrailer. Going to have loop style safety chain openings, which are nice and thick, and they should give us more than enough room to use just about any size hook that we might have. Now, as far as the hitch's weight capacities go, it's going to have a 500-pound maximum gross tongue weight rating. So that's going to be the amount of weight that's pushing down on the hitch. That's a pretty high number, and you should be able to use pretty much any size bike rack or cargo carrier that you would want to. As far as the maximum gross trailer weight rating goes, it's going to be 5,000 pounds. And that's going to be the amount of weight that's pulling on the hitch. So that is the weight of your trailer plus anything that you might have on it. Now this can be used with a weight distribution system, which is a separate component, and what that's going to do is help level out your truck and your trailer and make it a little easier to pull down the road. If you do use that though, the weight capacities do go up. Maximum gross tongue weight rating goes up to 800 pounds, and the maximum gross trailer weight rating increases to 8,000 pounds. However, I do suggest never a bad idea just to grab your Nissan's owner's manual. That way you can make sure your Frontier can pull that much weight safely. And if you do plan on doing some towing, I would recommend picking up some trailer wiring. That way the lights on your trailer will match up with the lights on your Frontier, and you'll be safe and legal. And what's pretty cool about wiring for this vehicle, most of these trucks actually have a factory tow package plug, which is easy to get to right here on the driver's side frame rail. And so not only can you plug in a 4-way, but you can also get a 7-way connector as well. That way if you run that 7-way, you also have the ability to plug in a brake controller underneath the dash. So kind of gets you covered any which way. Now I'm going to give you a couple of measurements, and you can use these to help figure out which hitch mounted accessories to get. From the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube opening, that's going to be about 18 inches. So if you do plan on doing some towing, chances are pretty good you can probably use a ball mount with a straight shank. From the center of the hitch pinhole to the edge of the rear bumper, that's going to be about 4 inches. And you can use that measurement to help figure out that if any folding accessories you might have can be stored in that upright position without contacting the bumper. It's really straightforward. It's more or less just going to use a few bolts on each side and connect to your frame. So it shouldn't really give you any issues or take you a whole lot of time. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and put it on together now. To begin our installation, we're going to be here underneath the back of our Nissan, and first thing we're going to need to do is locate our attachment points on each one of our frame rails right here in this location. So if you look on the bottom side of our frame rail, we're going to have 3 factory weld nuts, and those are what we're going to use for our attachment points. Now a lot of times you can get some rust in there and some dirt and debris and make it really difficult to actually thread your bolts in. So what I suggest doing is taking a tube brush like this and some penetrating oil, spray those down real good, and then just work that through there to clean out any potential dirt or debris. Now, I want to say if these are super rusty and the tube brush isn't cutting it, you may have to go to your auto parts store or your hardware store and pick up a tab like this. This is a M12 by 1.25. And if that's what you need to do, this simply just runs up in there and really does a great job of cleaning out your threads and getting them back to like new again. So if your bolts are, well, not super rusty, this is something you may need to think about doing. Now, I will say, once you have these cleaned out, from this point on, anything we do to this side of our truck, we're also going to do to the other side because it's set up the exact same way. Now let's go ahead and go over our hardware that we're going to use to secure our hitch. So it's all going to be the same for every attachment point. We're just going to take a hex bolt, split lock washer, we'll go over it, and then a flat washer. So they'll all be like that. So once we have our hitch held up in place, we'll line up the holes in the hitch with our attachment points, and then these are just going to simply thread into position and hold our hitch up. Now with an extra set of hands, we can grab our hitch, raise it into position, and we want to line up the holes in the hitch with our attachment points in the frame there. We can take our hardware, and we want to get at least one bolt started on each side, hand tight. That way the hitch will support itself while we work on the rest of the hardware. So now that we got all of our hardware in place and hand tight, we can come back with a 19mm socket and snug it all down. Now we can come back with the torque wrench and tighten down all of our hardware to the amount specified in our instructions. And that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Etrailer.com Class 3 trailer hitch receiver on our 2013 Nissan Frontier.